Sharma is also joining us. Milind, over to you. I cut you short at that point. Please bring us all the sentiment, the mood on the Supreme Court's verdict. May not be very happy, but any positive takeaways for the LGBTQ?
All right, so yes, you're right. The mood is not very celebratory over here. I'm at the Humsafar Trust. This organization has also been working for the LGBTQTA rights. And I just want to talk to Nimaisha once. Nimaisha, is there just any silver lining today from this particular verdict that has come out? Is there clarity on even one point that you would like to tell us?
I think the lack of clarity is so evident that after a point, like, I was completely like, I think like, somebody had shared this meme, like, the words, there were so many words that were spoken, but like, unfortunately it meant nothing. So I think like, there was complete lack of clarity. I think they have recognized to a certain extent rights of people, like, these are certain rights that like, gay people need to be recognized as a union, this, that, and like, they need to be protected from discrimination, like, in case they want to get into a union and so on and so forth. But again, it has not been legally enforced by the Supreme Court, and it has again been put as an onus back to the state.
What about the marriage rights or the way a trans can get married to another trans, a man and a woman? Has there been any clarity on that?
That has been clear, like, to be very frank, like, in terms of the transgender, like, people, there has been like a lot of progressive, like, judgment that has been made today. But unfortunately, like, that progressiveness also is very limited to, like, heteronormative transgender couples. Like, there are transgender people. First of all, like, transgender is a gender identity. And transgender people can also be gay and can also be lesbians. And they also might want to be, like, in a relation, a trans woman might want to be in a relationship with a woman. And that unfortunately has not been recognized by the Supreme Court. Like, they are saying, like, that this is a union which we cannot recognize. But a trans man and a trans woman and a cisgender man, a cisgender woman and a trans man, like, all these, like, relationships can be recognized as marriage. So it's again a very heteronormative perspective, like, that has been given in terms of the judgment.
और अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि आपके जहन में इस वर्डिक्ट को लेके क्या था पहले, कि आपको क्या उम्मीद थी, क्या आशाएं थी इस वर्डिक्ट से आज?
जैसा कि बताया गया था कि जितनी भी चीज़ें हमने आशाएं की थी कि बहुत सारा हमारे लिए प्रोग्रेस होगा, कि एक जो हमने स्टेप लिया अपने लिए, अपने भविष्य के लिए, कि जो हमने पिटीशन डाली थी कि हमें लगता था कि ये चीज़ आएगी तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमारी बदलेगी, बट कुछ चीज़ें एज ए ट्रांस के लिए बदली गई हैं जैसे बताया गया, बट कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी कि उसी में हमें घुमा के रख दिया बातों में कि आप ऐसा कर सकते हो, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते। अगर एज अ ट्रांस में कर सकते हो कि मैं मैरिज कर सकती हूँ, बट एज अ गे आइडेंटिफाई वो पर्सन वो कैसे कर सकता है? मतलब उसको तो बिल्कुल ही जड़ से उसको इलीगली कर दिया है, जड़ से हटाई गया कि उनको रखा ही नहीं उस चीज़ में। हमारा जो बनता है सिर्फ हम टी नहीं है, LGBT, हम एक पूरा एक परिवार है, तो फिर ऐसे डिस्क्रिमिनेशन क्योंकि एक के साथ में कुछ रखा गया, एक को पूरा डिनाई कर दिया गया जस्ट बिकॉज गे की पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज्यादा इंडिया में, फाइन, और ये अपने आप को एक्सेप्ट करता है। और ऐसे बहुत से ऐसे जोड़े हैं जो आज भी रुके हुए थे कि आज का जजमेंट के हिसाब से उनके आगे का फ्यूचर सेट हो रहा था। अगर आज का ये पॉजिटिव एग्री होती तो शायद आज कितने ही मैरिजेस और कितने उल्लास के साथ में हम इस सबको सेलिब्रेट करते, बट क्या कर सकते हैं अब हम हिम्मत नहीं हारेंगे, जैसे बताया गया लड़ेंगे इस चीज के लिए।
और एक चीज ये है कि मुझे मिलेगी आजादी, इनको मिलेगी आजादी और हम लेकर रहेंगे आजादी।
तो मतलब लड़ाई जारी रहेगी. That's what they are saying. I would want to toss back to you, Nabila, because the sentiment here is extremely somber when it comes to
Milind, if you could just toss a question to the members of the LGBTQ about the biological differences between a heterosexual couple and a gay couple. That's basically the underlining factor to why the government has said no, because marriage is about procreation and gay marriage does not accommodate for that. So just the biological difference, how do they view it?
Of course. तो पूछा ये जा रहा है कि क्योंकि एक शादी का जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है उसे फंडामेंटल तो नहीं कहा जा रहा, लेकिन ये कहा जा रहा है कि जब हेटेरोसेक्सुअल कपल शादी करते हैं तो एक बायोलॉजिकल बच्चा हो सकता है, और ये कॉन्सेप्ट गेज या लेस्बियन या फिर ट्रांस मैरिजेस में नहीं है. उसको आप कैसे देखते हैं, क्योंकि अडॉप्शन पर बहुत ज्यादा तवज्जो दिया गया इस जजमेंट में आज?
जैसे कि सबको पता है कि एक हम लोग बच्चा मतलब पैदा तो नहीं कर सकते, बट हाँ कहीं ना कहीं हम बच्चे पाल सकते हैं, बहुत अच्छे से पाल सकते हैं. तो जैसे कि एक गे कपल को ही देख लिया जाए, उसमें भी एक जो पार्टनर होता है उसमें भी माँ बनने की इच्छा होती है, बट वो बन नहीं सकता। बट कहीं ना कहीं वो एक माँ की तरह एक बच्चे को पाल सकता है और उसको बड़ा कर सकता है, एजुकेशन दे सकता है और अच्छे से, क्योंकि हमारी लाइफ में हम लोगों ने बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम फेस की है। तो हमें ये पता है कि अगर हमारा कोई बच्चा होगा तो हम उसको इस परिस्थितियों से नहीं गुजरने देंगे। तो ये चीजें हैं हमारे कम्युनिटी में। तो
इसको लेकर sentiments अलग है. So Nabila, basically it's a lot of words that were spoken by the Supreme Court 5-judge bench today. None of the words meant specific things to the same-sex marriage legality in India, and that is the major issue at the moment. They are looking for a headway. There are countries that have legalized same-sex marriages through legislation. There are countries that have done it through courts. But India was not able to do it from court today, and of course we'll have to look at how the legislation will work forward. Of course, the Supreme Court has said they'll make a committee. The committee will be formed, but will that be a time-bound entity, and how much time will it take to understand the concept of or the legality of same-sex marriage in India? That is the question that the LGBTQ community is asking today, and of course they're not happy with the way the verdict has been pronounced by the Supreme
surely
Court.
India has moved a long way. Nalini, Milan, thank you very much for joining us on that. But India has certainly moved a long way. Nalini has agreed on that as well. And we also saw, as part of the argument, the government itself admitting that there will be societal acceptance to something like this over time.